Herb. Herb is a plant. I mean, herbs are good for everything. Herb.
Welcome to Eugene Cannabis TV. You made the trip. You got your host, DanK, and we have a special guest from Salem. Our friend Peke is here. And I got a few announcements to go through. We're talking about the Cannabis Science Pub again. That's coming up as I'm speaking to you. That's actually tomorrow. So that'll be, so you're going to miss that one. But the next one coming up will be in December. And remember, that's the last Tuesday of the month. So next month, that's December 27th. And then next upcoming show, I'll hopefully have the subject and let you know what they'll be talking about. But remember, that's the OG Analytical and Oregon's Constant Gardener that put that together, and it's free to the public. It's from 6 to 9 p.m. and they pick a subject, cannabis related, and they have a question and answer set up and then where the people in the audience get the answer right, they win a prize. Then they have a panel discussion on the subject. And then answer questions and question and answers. And then following the whole thing is just a social get-together from 8 to 9. So, again, that's at World Pies, which we know is most of us know as Cosmic, but it's in Eugene the last Tuesday, so that's December 27th next month. And then this one is interesting. The Oregon Sun-Grown Growers Guild presents the first cannabis auction. That's going to be December 6th, and it's going to be in Medford. It says, attention all sun-grown OMMP growers, processors, and dispensaries. Open only to licensed OMMP growers, processors, and dispensaries. So anyway, the website is OregonSungrown.org. You want to check that out. That's OregonSungrown.org. So that's a couple of things coming up. And don't forget, and I forgot to bring it in again, but I've got one of Elvie Musica's tins from her federal marijuana program, and she's wanting to get a bid on that and get someone to donate some money for that to help her out with her cause, because she's helping us in our cannabis cause, of course, and she's...
Well, she's one of the last federal patients.
That's right.
There's only three more left.
That's right. She's one of the last four federal medical marijuana patients, right? And this tin is what she actually receives her marijuana cigarettes in, and she's gotten as high as $3,000 for those tins. But anyway, she's looking for a pretty good donation for that tin, so that she just went to Columbia last month with her.
Oh, she made it there?
Yeah.
And it made it back safely?
Apparently, I haven't heard for sure, but I think she did. I saw a picture of her on Facebook where she was in Columbia, so I assume she got back. So anyway, that's our, and Elvie's been on the show quite a few times, and she'll be on again. A real hero.
And they're up in Salem as well on Channel 23.
Okay, there you go. Tell us about Channel 23 and what you're doing up there.
So we have a weekly show. It's a phone-in show where the public calls in. It's a few friends from other states and around town that gives us a call, a patient. They talk about the benefits of cannabis as a medicine and how they are having a quality of life.
That's what the people talk about when they call in, you say?
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
And once in a while you give a call up there.
Yeah, and when I can think of it, and even with a reminder, I still forget. So I've got to put it on my phone, and I haven't done that. But anyway, yeah. I keep saying short-term memory problem. What short-term memory problem? I don't remember having a short-term memory problem.
Yeah.
But yes, that's Friday night at 7:30.
Yeah.
Right. And the phone number will be displayed on the screen here, and give them a call. It's a half-hour show, and give these guys support, because they're out there every Saturday or Friday doing their shows just like we are, and they're looking for people to come on and talk about their cannabis stories and putting out information and news items and the whole thing.
And this is on YouTube as well.
There you
I
go.
have another show which is My Garden, and I show the process of growing an outdoor garden in a greenhouse.
There you go. YouTube and my
Garden.
garden, and also to find it, the Salem show on YouTube is
Mercy Center, I guess.
okay. Mercy Center or the plural, the S. So centers.
With the S, please.
Okay. Yeah. Mercy Centers. That's for the S plural. So, yeah, and they've been doing that for a long time, and like I say, every Friday. So give them support. They're just like us. They're out there just doing it for the love of getting the word out and the love of the herb. You know.
Well, you're one of the reasons we have a show up there.
Oh, that's great. Well, you guys sure come down, been down on this show many, many times, and I'm ashamed to admit I haven't made it up there once. But and I want to check it out. This is why I threw this little thing together. And I haven't read it lately, but I like to read it. It says, "Thanks for taking the time to watch Eugene Cannabis TV. It's a labor of love for us to produce the show. It's not only a labor of love for the plant, cannabis, but a labor of love to be able to communicate to others about this incredible plant. Many thanks to the Community Television 29 group providing the means to produce this show. We definitely encourage you to look into joining the Community Television 29 organization. It's a lot of fun, and you get to meet some great people." And that's the same deal going on there in Salem, too.
Yes.
The
We
23.
offer classes on how to handle cameras, the control room, even to take cameras out to different events.
Excellent. What's the cost to join the system up there?
It was reasonable. I don't remember because we're one of their older shows.
Right. Okay, yeah, I'm sure it's reasonable. I know ours is $10 a year for community TV. And same thing like Peke says, you can use the facilities, you can produce your own shows. They're always looking for people to come up with ideas and produce their own shows. If you need the experience, they put on classes. This is like Peke was talking about. They do the same thing here too. So, and there's a lot of people looking for help, so it's kind of fun sometimes to join up and then go help somebody else in their project. I remember when I was taking training to be the director of training, I was watching a production of a children's cooking class, and it was fantastic. I got so wrapped up in the watching the kids, I kept forgetting to do what I'm supposed to be doing because I was enjoying the show so much, you know. But anyway, that's the opportunities out there. So it's community TV, and in your case, what do they call it in Salem? Or Salem, they call it
CCTV.
Community Television.
Yeah.
CTV 23 in Salem.
Yeah.
So okay.
They have 3 channels: 21, 22, and 23.
Excellent. Wow.
And
Okay.
they show a lot of sports as well on channel 22.
Excellent. And you want to get your update on your written testimony?
Well,
And but in fact, give a brief, 'cause a lot of people probably don't know exactly what this is about. So start at the beginning and real quickly go through that, would you?
so back in May when they were when I heard of the changing of the laws for the medical patients, I talked to my lawyer, which was Bradley M. Steinman, attorney. Get in touch with me. He's a good person. So we wrote a letter to the governor, and we found in our study that the state has been violating Section 20 of our Constitution, guarantee equal of privileges and immunities to all citizens of Oregon in providing equal privacies and immunities to citizens. No law shall be passed granting to any citizen or class of citizen privileges or immunities which, upon the same terms, shall not equally belong to all citizens. So, I'm for the patients. I'm a patient. My organizations are trying to help the patients. The quality of cannabis as a medicine. The fees are ridiculous. We hear all this that they're making off of the recreational taxes for the state. Years before, they've taken the money that the patients has given for the license, which may vary in prices. If you're a patient, you know. Now they want to have the patient pay $200 for a grow site. This indolent person. How is that possible? This is why OMA was formed, so the patient and the medical people would have quality of life.
That's right, and the program is supposed to be self-supported, meaning that the patients are supposed to be paying a fee that was enough to run the program. Well, that got clear out of control to where the state is making money off of the medical marijuana patients by charging exorbitant fees, well, way above what it costs to run the program, and it's just so egregious. But some of our peers in our activists in the movement like to try to make a positive spin on it and say, well, isn't that great? Look at the money that our program helps the state. Isn't that wonderful? You know, well, no, I don't think it is wonderful because it's stripping off people that are poor and it's sick, and that's, to me, it's egregious. And the state has a lot to be desired in the way they run the medical marijuana program up till now.
They lied to us. They mentioned several times before 91 was passed that they would not touch the medical. And
right, the initiative said that in 3 places.
Yeah.
Yes. And the legislature, even my own senator, Craig Byers, said, he said, well, it's a statute, and the statutes can be changed.
Wow.
And boy, did they ever change it. So it's disgusting. But we've got about a little over a minute to go, so anything else you want to wrap up and talk about?
No, I just hope the people that are in the hospital, where I know this is shown, are getting better. And don't be afraid to ask your sons or even the doctors and nurse about cannabis, because you don't have to smoke it. You can rub it on to feel the Here's one of my results.
That's right, topical. Not only topical, what Peke makes actually is topical, and you can take internally and apply externally, and it's incredible. It's just a lot of the contact I've had is people my age that never had anything to do with cannabis, and they are surprised. Something happens medically, and then they end up using it, and they find out what it does, and then they become advocates. But in the process, they're all nervous about it because we're all kind of a little uneasy about it. It's always been illegal, and we don't want to talk about it, and this kind of, you know. Yeah, and so anyway, we need to spread the word because it is a magical plant. And so we've got to go. I appreciate you coming down, Peke. I appreciate the trip all the way from Salem. Come down, and you people out there can do that too. We have another guest in the studio, so I love having guests. That's my main thing of the show, is to have guests. And because we don't have guests, and you got to just listen to me ramble on, so you definitely have an interest to talk to. Welcome back to the second half of episode 629 of the Eugene Cannabis TV show, and you got your host DanK, and we have a special guest in the studio tonight. We have Angelo Steelhead.
Hey Dan, long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I recognized him, but I couldn't remember from where. I meet so many people on my travel, especially being an organizer and stuff, you know. But by the way, I wanted to show you my shirt. I forgot to take my outer shirt off, but cannabis activists.
Activism, still
There was
doing it.
Yeah, there was a company up in Seattle Hemp Fest, I don't know, 6, 7 years ago, that were selling clothing, and that was the name of the company, Clothing Activist Clothing Company, which I thought was kind of strange. And they gave me a shirt, which I'm really glad. I really like it. You know, it tells them who I am or what I'm doing. You know, but anyway, it just struck me as I always thought, as far as a business model, how much business are you going to get from a cannabis clothing,
T-shirt, well,
cannabis, activist clothing, But
yeah,
anyway.
well, it takes, you got to have your props, you got to have your ways and means, wow, now we've got a garden culture economy.
Yeah, oh yeah. So
pretty
tell us,
amazing.
what's up? What brings you here tonight?
Geez, just a recap on the 19 years that we've been with this vision to create an alternative to the corporatocracy, where time is money. And now that people have ways and means from home and are starting to learn about holistic care and are able to actually focus on what's important, we're back to rope it into the cultural side of cannabis. And maybe just take the limelight off of the whole idea of recreation or the product pushing that's happening out there.
I've heard somebody a couple of times, I've heard people say, well, things haven't really changed. We're still dealing with the same people we've always dealt with.
Yep. Hats have been traded and the names will change, and soon corporate America will take it to the taxation legalization, which is not decriminalization, but is simply another buyout program. Yeah, now that we've paid the price, they're looking to do what Canada's done, and that's monopolize.
It's interesting. In my own life, I've seen retail on the street prices of cannabis drop from $300 down to $200 and below.
Yeah.
And it's, which has been an interesting thing to watch. But what really blew me away was Colorado. In Colorado, the prices are so high because it's taxed 3 different levels, and so the taxes are just crazy, So they've raised so that raises the prices up to where they are higher than they are on the street.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just the opposite of what we've always been told what would work. So anyway, here we got a store. You can go in and buy it legally, but it costs more than it does to buy it on the street. And yet you think, well, and now come to find out they're both doing well. That's the thing that blows me away.
Yeah,
they're
making
both doing
money
well.
at both ends of it. Yeah.
So that's crazy. That's amazing. But it's just wow. So.
Yeah, and that's what's happening. And what we'd like to do is see, now that we have the most successful income-generating program in the state, providing resources right back into the coffers of law enforcement, right back into the coffers of our legislature and attorneys and all of the other professionals that are banking a pretty penny. We'd like to see a portion of that revenue redirected into a legal defense fund for people who have been disenfranchised, for folks that are dealing with a quagmire of legal issues and need assistance in understanding how to get out from the red tape and all of the things that they've engineered in creating a war economy, economic slavery, and that's what this is all about.
Yeah, wow. Interesting. It's hard to tell where we're going from here, but it's all things are changing, that's for sure. So
yeah, we need a vision. We need a comprehensive vision, and you play a leading role. And if you're benefiting from this, or you're looking at this garden culture economy as a way to improve your quality of life, to help yourself, help others, and get into what's important, which is your health first and foremost, then please play an active role in being informed. And being informed is knowing your rights, claiming your rights, and maintaining the program.
Definitely, yes, definitely. The whole thing I come back to, it's a plant. It's only a plant. It is a plant. In fact, that's the most fantastic thing about it. Maybe it is a plant, but the whole point is it's a plant. So why are we getting excited about a plant as far as being illegal?
Yeah, well, the spirit of the plant is that of fellowship and camaraderie. It's always been something of a cultural staple for thousands of years. And of course, we live in a corporatocracy which is anti-cultural. It's divide and conquer, and that hasn't changed.
Yeah, we found, we had a story on, I forgot where it was now, but they found a person, 2,500-year-old mummified person. You hear about that? That had a satchel and it had marijuana which in the bag, and it was definitely flour.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's another thing that corporate America doesn't want you to know, is that the two of the benefits to this herb is one, it creates body awareness so that you get really in touch with what's going on, what's important inside of you and within your immediate surroundings. But it also induces a quality of timelessness. And that's not good for business in the corporatocracy, because time is money. And you're managed and regulated by a work week where time is money, Monday through Friday. So when you have the chance to localize your attention into the now or into the moment and really take account of what's important within your body, then you'll find that that your body will actually inform you of what's important, and that's bad for business.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, so what are you doing now, daily, or what are you up to?
Well, I am retreating to take care of my body. I threw my back out here recently. I have a son, and I want him to know. I want him to know the difference between pot, dope, grass, and weed, and all the other derogatory ideas that have been engineered over the course of the last 80, 90 years to deter you from understanding the benefits of herbology. So my outreach education is the same as it was before, in that would like people to be informed about the benefits of cannabis within an aesthetic, athletic tradition. And in the West, we have to be cautious about talking about yoga because of the Hindu overtones. But essentially, I discovered the benefits of cannabis within a yogic context at the age of 31, 32, and that's where I really began to understand the benefits. And so when you talk about the science of purification, when you talk about any kind of program that improves your movement, your health, your overall constitution, within a yogic context, cannabis has an entirely different meaning, and there's an entirely different relationship there for you to discover. And that is that's what's really exciting, because I started working with cannabis at 16, but it wasn't until I was 31, 32, 33 years old where I really came into the proper alignment or proper relationship with the herb. And we don't want to see a generation of neurotic, psychotic kids becoming even more so as a result of not understanding the psychoactive qualities of this herb. And I'm really excited about the CBD and the alternative things that I've been learning about in regards to pain.
Oh yeah. You talk about your son. That reminded me, my son was 14. I took him on the road with me for 2 weeks when I was driving a truck. And so we went across anyway, 2 weeks. And that was at that time when I told him that I used marijuana. He started crying. And I said, "What's the matter?" And he said, "I don't want you to die."
Yeah.
I thought, my gosh, talk about brainwashing. I said, no, I'm not going to die from marijuana, you know. So I thought, but anyway, so, and then you mentioned your pain, your back, your medical problems, and as we were talking off camera before, I was going to tell him about the hot springs, which he knows about up at Cougar, which is incredible. But it's something about the healing, the herbs, talking about herbs, I got herbs in the mind, but the minerals, I guess, the mineral water. But I used to live in Nevada, and I had a back spasm really bad, and I went to the local swimming pool, which actually was supplied by a hot spring. And that gave me some relief. I mean, I made it through the weekend, but Anyway, it's amazing how that it really does wonders.
Yeah, and we need to inform the general public that despite the appearance of this being a resource for a downtrodden, broken social fabric, many of us are much more creative, engaged in social activities, political reform. Many of us have covered ground that a majority will never even fathom. And so when I talk about my challenge in becoming a whole human being, or my challenge in remaining fit, I'm under the belief and the conviction that you don't have to necessarily grow old. I mean, it's a choice. You know, of course the body does age, but growing old and the way that you think and what you're able to do with yourself doesn't necessarily have to diminish with age.
Yeah, for sure. I'm testing with that. I could be an old fart. I'm still doing stuff.
You're doing it. Yeah, yeah. You know,
Right.
we're just scratching the surface here.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and
The Silver Tour. You heard of that?
no, not yet.
It's a group that are doing. They're going from retirement homes, going to retirement homes and putting on presentations about what cannabis can do and help in educating about cannabis to seniors. Fantastic program. Wow.
You know, Dan, I'm excited about more of these social, religious facets of working with cannabis. Within, most of our social forms today are splintered, broken. When it comes to creating a unified field experience, or when it comes to group activities or the collective will of the people today, it's all over the map. And so I'm really interested in some of the more of the religious side of bringing back into proper context how cannabis can catalyze a transformative experience, a group experience.
We're out of time. Thanks for coming so much. Thank you.
Hey man, thank you.